5th hatchery going down by WhaleVsJinro, and of course you'll have to excuse my awful English today. I don't know what's going on, but you know, something's going on. Oh no! All of these banelings just going to be borrowing banelings. That's a great move right there. Hoping that Jinro did not see, although because it was kind of like, that was so close. Oh man, that was close. Oh, I see what he's doing. He's trying to get Jinro to back up into these borrowed oh no way. Oh, he didn't even select them. He wasn't even prepared to blow them up. That is just, that could have been so huge from Jinro, although it wasn't the most amount of Marines, because Jinro is really smart and he wouldn't want to lose all of his Marines to banelings, but of course that could have been quite a big hit by WhaleVsJinro, just making it one more thing that he doesn't have to worry about in this position. And we do see massive amounts of banelings streaming in and crushing, and seemingly crushing Jinro's army that looks minuscule in comparison. But these banelings coming in from too far from the left and just getting obliterated by those tank shots, and this 4 is enough to keep those tanks alive, to make sure that he can reinforce with all of his Marines. And of course, doing quite a good job at that. We see the, oh no way, oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, I did see that, but of course the third base going down from Jinro, the planetary fortress, not being able to save him from the massive amounts of banelings that were streaming in. 2 banelings coming in from the left side to go back home, of course, why wouldn't you? You know, when there's a lot of juicy Marines, what is the one thing that you want to do with a baneling? Go home, of course. Now, all of those spine cores getting demolished by those siege tanks and 4. And, we see here the nice scan by Jinro cleaning up those creep tumors, and the WhaleVsJinro's whale seemingly going in for for some sort of strike with the Mutalisks, but you want to make sure not to clump those up too much, getting 2 tanks in the meantime. But he's got quite immaculate Mutalisk control in this game, doing a very good job, and we do see quite a bit of reinforcements back at home for Jinro. And yes, the Mutalisk harassment kicking into gear yet again, killing off another missile turret, and he could get this tank as well if he's paying attention. Oh no way, that is beautiful. Oh yes, Whale, you are such a beast. As we see the contain still going down by Jinro, hopefully nothing else has been going on, but the 4th hatchery seemingly taking some fire from the tanks, but that was just beautiful right there, pulling the banelings away so that, and Whale wants to sack this hatchery because his Mutalisks can't pull back in time, but of course they're doing plenty of damage, and that I can't stress that enough. That was beautiful play, just running in, you know, baiting the Marines with the Mutalisks and then destroying the Marines with the banelings that were borrowed right there. Now, we do see the 3rd base, or what was previously the 3rd base, has been picked apart yet again by Jinro, and what the heck? 32, 33 Mutalisks, that is a huge number by Whale, but oh, you gotta watch out, you can't run all of your Mutalisks into the massive Marine pack, but this siege line just doesn't seem sufficient to the almost maxed army of WhaleVsJinro Whale. He's just, yeah, I'm surprised that he's been holding it back this far, because the cleanup is just going to be almost instant, and even with the nice splitting from Jinro, will be cleaned up. Poor Jinro has had his expansions being taken out left, right, and center, and he's not even trying to make another command center, as he just can't afford it. He's trying to macro as best as he can, and he probably needs to get some guys out of the gas geysers and onto mining, but of course he has saturated all of his bases, so that probably wouldn't help too much. Transferring to the 5th base of Whale, getting his retaking his 4th base, and of course making lots of Zerglings and Banelings. 2-1 upgrades for Whale, sorry, and of course 3-1 upgrades from Jinro on his infantry, and V+1 attacks upgrade on his mechanical units, vehicle upgrades, you could say. Now, the WhaleVsJinro Whale floating quite a bit of a trust fund right there, but it's not uncommon to do that as a Mutalisking player, just because Mutalisks are so gas heavy and supply heavy. Well, not supply heavy just because they cost so much, but of course, and you remax on, then you just get massive amounts of Zerglings, and the fourth base, or third or fourth base trying to be retaken by Jinro. As I was saying, you just make heaps of lings, and if you're on top of larva injects, but like FXO Whale seems to be, then you just you just make heaps of lings, and it works quite well. Duking around so that the Marines have to defend the fourth base. That was inevitably cancelled again by Jinro. This is just unbelievable control by these Mutalisks right here from FXO Whale. I'm going to be honest right now. I'd never heard of FXO Whale before this, but right now I'm pretty excited from this guy. I want to be watching some more of this guy's games because his Mutalisk control and his Zergling control and his Baneling control and his macro have just been so good. And trying to take another command center from Jinro, of course, having to leave back all of these units just in case some damage could be wrought from FXO's Whale. Now, if Whale just moves in right here because of all of the units that are just stacked around the fourth base, then he could do quite a bit of damage. Of course, Jinro hasn't done too many drops, and the creep spread is not the best from Whale, but of course those scans helping to clean up those creep tumors. Well, at least I hope not. Have there been any drops? Workers killed? No, not really. There might have been one that I had missed, unfortunately, and I apologize for that. But of course, we do see Mutalisks swinging around the left side of the map, so a drop might not be the worst idea, especially in the main base trying to kill off some tech structures. But Jinro, he is doing an amazing job of macroing, keeping up with the Zerg player, starting to get maxed himself, picking off not a Mutalisk, a Medevac and a tank, but to the loss of one or two Mutalisks. Whether or not that was worth it, we shall see at the later stages of the game. Now, this is actually quite amazing by Jinro. He looked down and out and dead, and he has been losing his bases left, right, and center. But he seems to be having, he has like the awesome macro. Still has 53 SCVs as well too. To FXO's Whale's 70 drones. Of course, getting his 6th base up as well, trying to take the entire left side, or right side, sorry, of the map. Now, we do see +1 missile attacks, and by missile attacks I mean carapace, from his secondary spire, and of course plus the armor upgrades of the Zergling Banelings, and of course killing your own tank because he just wasn't doing a good job killing off those Banelings or infestors. So you know, sometimes you have to make decisions when you're somebody as high ranked as Jinro. You know, you go. You know, it's he's been doing a good job, but he's not the best pick of the bunch, sort of thing. So yeah, sometimes as a boss, as I was trying to say before, you know, you got to make tough decisions. You got to fire people and sometimes kill them in the most humane way, in the most humane way possible. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Now, I think that was a good decision, and I support that by Liquid Jinro. Now, of course, we see the Mutalisk harass continuing, but Jinro doing quite a good job of spreading out his Marines and, of course, tanks and fours, just so that he can do optimum damage, and Jinro really needs to be pretty, oh, that is not good for Whale. He has just sent in half his army just because of the fact that they just auto-attack, and I hate that. It is so painful to watch. When a tank sieges up, attacks your units, and just half of them just pile in, get killed, and then you send your other half in because you're just like raging hard, and then you just yeah. You know the story here, of course, a drop, but I missed killing off the medevac. Yeah, it just gets so annoying when that happens. But of course, Jinro doing a great job already setting up his container outside of the natural and third, fourth, or whatever amount of base this is, taking it out. And of course, the more he is aggressive, the harder it is for these Mutalisks to go back home and kill off his bases. But of course, the Mutalisks 2-2 upgrades on those Broodlords coming out as well. Of course, we see Jinro just doing a great job right now. and I'm quite surprised. I did think that Jinro was pretty down and out before, and you know, Mulus being pretty active, picking off the reinforcements as well as some of the stray tanks. But Jinro, he looked pretty down and out. He looked pretty bad off as he was losing. Shoot your own Marines because they've got Broodlords next to them. Now, yeah, that was a pretty amazing comeback right there from Jinro. Although he is not in the clear yet, of course these Broodlords going to be changing the tide of the battle so much. 15 Corruptors coming out now, and these Vikings may or may not be enough. You definitely want, or you also want some Ghosts coming out in the field, but of course he does not have any as of yet. So these Vikings will have to do. But Ghosts are very powerful against this this sort of it's like just the dying sounds of Marines caught my ears, and I was quite confused. But of course, the Broodlord Corruptor formation is very susceptible to cloaked ghosts, and it works really well because they make so much Corruptors. Or the Zerg player does. I know I'm guilty of this. They make so much Corruptors that that the Vikings, to try and kill off the Vikings, but if you have so many ghosts, then not only the Corruptors are moot point, but the Broodlords can't see and attack the ghosts, and it ends up to be pretty amazing. Now we do see the unsiege from Jinro just because he doesn't want to do any splash damage on his own tanks, because that's always bad doing that, and by tanks I mean Marines and his other units. Now, I wouldn't recommend Jinro continuously shoving 3 to 2 of those, whoa, that's a lot of Corruptors, Vikings, as I was going to say, into that mass of Corruptors. Now, that is actually quite amazing. That's a lot of Corruptors that can potentially turn into Broodlords, and of course he has not very many Zerglings, if any at all. And we do see a drop coming down here, but easily cleaned up by WhaleVsJinro, and of course getting rid of all of his supply of Zerglings. Does he have adrenal glands? He does not, because he doesn't need it, because he doesn't have any Zerglings. But of course sometimes you do need to remax with those once you've lost a battle. We do see 5th base coming up, and of course a drop that I did. Yeah, now and of course here on the minimap, but a drop. He was firing the hatchery with only 5 Marines. I'm not so sure how much I like that. He didn't really have much of a choice because of his beautifully placed Spinecrawler, but it gave, how do you say, it gave Whale plenty of time to react and come back and kill it. Now, 5th base, seemingly, yeah, just got up a small while ago, as we see the mineral fields are not very heavily mined at all. We do see extra Spinecrawlers being thrown down from WhaleVsJinro, and I'm sorry, I just have to, before this epic battle, I have to of course check my sound because I've been an idiot and forgot about that. But of course, as we go back into the game, I'm going to Control W at this because this looks pretty amazing. We do see the Marines getting a massive flank here from Jinro, and of course these Corruptors just dealing heaps and heaps of damage. This is whoa, that's a beautiful cleanup by Jinro, but he is not in the clear yet. He still has all those Broodlings to deal with. Of course the Corruptors backing out, but of course he couldn't run away with the Broodlords because they are abysmally slow. As we go back into bringing up in the UI, we do see that those Broodlords were taken out with surprising efficiency from the free upgrades of that is Jinro. This is actually, if Jinro wins this, man, this is going to be an amazing comeback, because he still is not ahead in supply, and he's still not very far ahead in any regard. So we do see here the Zerglings, of course, coming into action again. As I was saying before, you do need to remax on that sometimes just because of all the minerals.